Hi you guys, my name is Lily. I am saying hello to friends, family, strangers, whoever you may be. Okay, let me put this down. I got stuff in my hands. Okay, so basically I am making this video to invite friends, family, strangers, whoever you are, on a journey with me discovering my ethnicity. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't have any idea of what heritages I possess. It's just that I'm very multiracial and I actually look quite different than my brothers, um, than either side of my family, paternal or maternal. Though I have very noticeable differences, there are still a lot of commonalities I have with my mother and father. I mean, I see myself in both of my parents, but at the same time, my brothers are a bit darker than I am. I have one brother who is extremely dark, and two brothers are not very much darker than I am. However, have darker hair, darker eyes, that sort of thing. So, I always kind of wanted to do this Ancestry DNA thingy. So I went ahead last night and ordered the kit. And so I should be getting that in like 3 to 4 business days, 3 to 7 business days or whatever. I just kind of wanted to make this video to kind of just invite some of you guys along the journey with me. For those of you who are like just interested in that kind of thing, like history, geography, cultures, all that kind of stuff. For some of us geeky type of people, we are into those types of things. So perhaps you guys might be assuming I'm white. Perhaps you might not know. If you're assuming I'm white, that's been an assumption my whole life. Not totally offended by it. However, I was raised in a very ethnic home. I don't deny that I have some white heritage, it's obvious. However, I don't identify. I was raised, again, in a very ethnic home. I will show you a photograph of my mother, father, and myself when I was a baby. Can any of you guess what I might be? Okay, well, maybe the photo will help. So, that is my mother, my father, and myself. I must have been maybe 8 months old. So, when I was a kid, obviously, I looked a bit different, but there are baby pictures of my mother and I where we're like pretty much identical. So, anywho, I had this girlfriend, when she first seen this picture, she was like, "Oh my gosh, Lily, who's that Arab guy?" And I'm like, "That's not an Arab guy, that's my daddy." So, that's my mommy, my daddy, and myself. I think I'm probably like 8 months old, maybe a year, I don't know. Both of my parents were young. My mom was probably about 16, my daddy was probably 17. If I saw these people walking like on the street or something, I would maybe think that they are Greek. Maybe Greek, maybe some sort of Italian, Romanian, Armenian, Turkish, I don't know. Somewhere in that part of Europe is what I would guess. You know, but yeah, my dad, maybe I could assume he might be like some sort of Middle Eastern, I don't know. I actually think my mom and pops look like they could be the same ethnicity. However, they are not the same ethnicity. So that is my family portrait. How about I show you a picture of my mommy when she was about 2 years old. So that's my ma. I know you can't see it that well, but you get the idea. And as you can see, my natural hair color is probably, it's in the red family. It is fairly light. It's like a medium copper to a medium auburn color, which both fall in the red family. Now, my mom seems to have red hair when she was a child, and as she grew older, it kind of darkened. Here's another picture of my mom. Again, her hair is looking reddish auburn. Another photo of my mom. with that red hair. So, although she had darker hair by the time she got older, I don't find it strange that I have this color hair because it's obvious that my mother has some sort of reddish hair as well. However, redheads are very unique. We do not need to have parents with red hair to have red hair. You just have to have two parents that have the same, I don't know, it's like not the same DNA, but they each have like the same mutation on one strand of DNA or something like that, but they both have to have it, or a gene. They both have to have this specific gene, and that will create the red hair. And yes, it can skip generations and come out later, whatever. Okay, so that's just kind of interesting. So here's a photo of my mom and her father, my granddaddy, and myself when I was a baby. So can't really see it that well because you're looking at a picture through a lens. Still no guesses as to what I might be? Well, how about I show you my mother's mother? This is my grandmother, who's still alive, who raised me. My mom died when I was 8 years old, and my granny, this woman, raised me and my brothers as her own. What do you think she is? Asian, Japanese, Vietnamese, Cambodian, Chinese, Korean, Japanese? How about this photo of my daddy when he was a teenager? He was probably like 14 here. He is really dark there because I guess he probably played outside a lot. Because now today he's not very dark, and he's only in his late 40s, and he's pretty much almost my complexion, just with dark eyes, dark hair. I'm actually using my phone, and I have pictures of my dad's mom on my phone, so I can't show you any pictures of her, but I do have a picture of my dad's dad. So what do you guys think? To me, this guy, I might think he's like Greek or Italian if I saw him on the street. Well, everyone, even his kids and grandchildren, called him Tilo. So, Tilo is Boriqueño, es puertorriqueño. My daddy, my papi, también puertorriqueño. My mother, she's Native American and white. As far as we know, her father is perhaps Scottish or French. The reason I say French is because his surname, last name, is actually Old French. However, I tracked his lineage all the way back to the latter 1700s to Scotland. They boarded a ship in Scotland and landed in Virginia, USA. Till today, a lot of my family on his side still are in the area in North Carolina, just over the border where they had landed from all those years ago in the late 1700s. So anyway, I just kind of showed you all those photos of different family, my close family, to show how ethnic my family really is, but yet how I came out the way I came out. And of course, I've always wondered, why am I so fair-skinned? Why is my hair so light? But actually, just looking at some of these pictures of my mom when she was a kid, and to see her red hair, and how much my nose is similar to hers, and I mean, people always ask me, even people that haven't seen my mom in a long time, like I told you, she died, but there have been like at least 2 people in my life who stopped me and asked me, who told me I looked exactly like this gal they went to school with in high school. And they'd be like, is your mom da-da-da? And I'd be like, oh my gosh, yeah. So that's really cool. Also, there are times when I look at myself in the mirror and I just see my dad. Like, sometimes I feel like I got my mom's nose, sometimes I feel like I got my dad's nose, but I probably got a little bit of both of their nose going on. Sometimes I see myself in both of them. Sometimes I don't see myself in either of them. That being said, I've always just been curious what my DNA is. You know, like I said, my daddy, he's Puerto Rican. Before the conquistadors landed there in Puerto Rico, there were Taino Indians there. Um, then the Spaniards came. Well, Columbus was Italian, and he brought Spaniards and Italians and obviously African slaves. So what happened in the island is all those kind of interbred. You know what I mean? And so there's just a lot of questions. Now, my Native American grandmother, this lady right here, she may or may not have Irish or German or both down her native side. We don't know. So hopefully by doing this test, I'll have a lot of questions answered. And I hope that it doesn't give me more questions on top of the questions I've already got. This will just be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. Funny thing, so I'm totally multiracial, and I married a person from India. So our child's going to be very, very multiracial. So all that being said, I guess I will guesstimate, try to make some predictions of my ethnicity. So let me start with my Native American side part. My mom is probably not half Native American, even though her mother is mostly Native American. We believe there is some European, maybe a small dash of it on my Native grandma's side. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. My mom is probably, geez, I don't know. This is so hard. Well, if my father has like some Taino Native American in him, then, and the Native for my mom, I am going to put myself at maybe 8 to 12% Native American, okay? And the reason I gave such conservative numbers is because just because one of your parents has a particular DNA, let's say one of your parents has like Mongolian in them, doesn't mean that you're gonna have Mongolian in you. Because at the time of conception, you received 23 pairs of chromosomes. Pairs. So a pair is 2. So your dad's DNA splits from his DNA. It splits to match with your mom's, and her splits. So there's 23 and 23. And then all the chromosomes that match, they find each other. Now, interestingly enough, they don't split evenly, okay? They just split however they split. They don't split half and half. And there have been some people's videos where I've watched like families give their DNA findings, their ethnicity findings, and like a mother may have like, and she had Polynesian blood, but she gave 0 Polynesian DNA to her son. He didn't have any DNA from Polynesia, nor did he have any of her Arabic or Middle Eastern. She had Polynesian and Middle Eastern in her, and the son did not. And that is because, like I said, the DNA splits and it doesn't distribute equally. It may not give you any of that particular DNA. So, these are all things you have to factor in. Okay, so that's why I'm giving conservative number with the Native American. I'm going to guess that maybe I'm 8 to 12% Native American. Most of my blood, I'm going to guess, is some sort of European, and it's probably going to be a great mix of European. And I will maybe put maybe 2 to 3% of some sort of West African, and my guess is going to be Ghana or the Ivory Coast, because I know that when the Spaniards were coming to Puerto Rico, they bought slaves from that part of Africa. So it's not uncommon for even white-skinned Puerto Ricans to have that African ancestry. So I'm gonna say I may have about 2 to 3% Ivory Coast, Ghana, African in me. If not, I'll be actually surprised. But then if my father takes the DNA test, it may come up in him, but it didn't show in me. That's just the way that it works. So 8 to 12%, 8 to 12% Native American, maybe 3% African. I'm also going to suggest that I have maybe 20% Spaniard. And then the rest I'm gonna guess is probably like British and Irish. I don't know. I know that just left a whole bunch open, but I don't know. I know what I just gave you was just like not 100%, but I really don't know. That's why I'm taking this test. So I guess I can go ahead and cut this video short, and when the package actually comes, I will post another video with the package and show you guys what the package looks like and kind of explain it. Have a good day, everybody. Right, nothing I can do now but just wait for the process to be finished. Have a good weekend. Bye.